What if I told you that right now scientists are literally growing tiny human brains in labs and using them as living computers? And no, this isn't some Black Mirror episode, this is happening today. These aren't full brains, but they're clusters of real human neurons that can learn, respond to commands, and might one day power entire data centers while using way less energy than the computers we use today. But here's the thing nobody's talking about. These mini brains eventually die. And when they do, scientists have noticed something really disturbing happening in their final moments. Stick around because what I'm about to show you will completely change how you think about the future of technology. So let me break this down for you. There's a lab in Switzerland called FinalSpark, and they're leading something called Biocomputing. Now, you've heard of hardware and software, right? Well, they're creating something they call Wetware. Yeah, I know it sounds gross, but hear me out. Here's how it works. They start with stem cells that come from human skin. These aren't just any random cells though. They buy them from a clinic in Japan, and the donors are completely anonymous. And get this, they actually have tons of people volunteering to donate. The demand is so high that they only pick cells from official suppliers because quality matters that much. Once they have these stem cells, things get really interesting. They culture them, which basically means they grow them in a lab until they become neurons. But they don't stop there. These neurons cluster together into these little white spheres called organoids. Think of them as tiny, lab-grown mini-brains. Now, these aren't anywhere close to being as complex as your brain or mine, but they have the same basic building blocks, same neurons, same supporting cells. The whole process takes several months to complete. After months of growing, these organoids are ready for the next step. They attach them to electrodes. This is where things start to feel like science fiction. The electrodes let them send electrical signals to the organoids and record what happens. One journalist actually visited the lab and got to try it out. They pressed a key on a keyboard, which sent an electric signal through the electrodes to the organoid. And you could see this little jump of activity on a screen, kind of like an EEG reading. But here's where it gets weird. When they pressed the key multiple times really fast, the responses suddenly stopped. Then there was this short burst of energy on the chart. When they asked what happened, Dr. Fred Jordan, the co-founder of FinalSpark, said they honestly don't fully understand what the organoids do or why they do it. His best guess? Maybe the organoid got annoyed. Yeah, you heard that right. A mini brain getting annoyed at being poked too much. So what's the end game here? The team wants to trigger actual learning in these biocomputer neurons so they can adapt and perform tasks. It's the same principle as AI. You give it an input, you want a specific output. For example, you show it a picture of a cat and you want it to say, yes, that's a cat. The potential is massive. Dr. Jordan believes that one day we could have entire data centers full of these living servers that learn like AI does, but use only a fraction of the energy that current AI systems need. In a world where AI is consuming more and more power, this could be a game changer. But there's a huge problem. How do you keep a living computer alive? Your laptop just needs to be plugged in, right? But biocomputers are way more complicated. Professor Simon Schultz from Imperial College London explained the main issue. Organoids don't have blood vessels. Your brain has blood vessels running through it at multiple levels, delivering nutrients and keeping everything working. But scientists haven't figured out how to create proper blood vessels in these mini brains yet. It's the biggest challenge they're facing right now. And this leads to something really uncomfortable. When we say a regular computer died, it's just a figure of speech. But with Wetware, it's literal. These organoids actually die. FinalSpark has made some progress. Their organoids can now survive for up to 4 months, which is way better than when they started 4 years ago. But what happens when they die is genuinely unsettling. Sometimes, right before an organoid dies, the team observes this sudden burst of activity. It's similar to what's been seen in some humans at the end of life, where heart rate and brain activity spike right before death. Dr. Jordan said they've recorded this happening about 1 to 2,000 times over the past 5 years. There's this very fast increase in activity in the last few minutes or even seconds of life. His reaction? It's sad because we have to stop the experiment, understand why it died, and then do it again. Professor Schultz backs up this no-nonsense approach. He says we shouldn't be scared of these organoids. They're just computers made out of different material. Not human, not conscious, just a different kind of machine. FinalSpark isn't alone in this race. In Australia, a company called Cortical Labs announced back in 2022 that they got artificial neurons to play Pong. Yeah, that old arcade game from the 70s, living cells playing video games. Over in the US, researchers at Johns Hopkins University are building their own mini brains, but they're focused on something different. They want to study how these organoids process information to help develop drugs for diseases like Alzheimer's and autism. Dr. Lena Smirnova leads that research, and she's realistic about where we are. She thinks biocomputing is scientifically exciting, but it's still really early stage. She doesn't think Wetware will replace silicon computer chips anytime soon. Instead, she sees it as something that should complement traditional AI, not replace it. Professor Schultz agrees. He doesn't think biocomputers will beat silicon at most things, but they'll find their niche somewhere. Let's zoom out for a second. What we're talking about here is using living human cells to build computers. Cells that learn, adapt, get tired, and eventually die. It raises some pretty big questions. If these organoids can learn and respond to stimuli, what does that say about the nature of consciousness? What does it mean to be alive? Dr. Jordan admits the whole concept is probably weird to most people. He said, when you start thinking about using a neuron like a little machine, it changes how you view your own brain. It makes you question what we actually are. But for him, it's also kind of magical. He's been a science fiction fan his whole life, and he said he always felt sad that his life wasn't like the books and movies he loved. But now, he feels like he's living in the book. He's writing the book. So where does this leave us? Scientists are literally growing mini human brains, hooking them up to computers, and watching them learn. These organoids might one day power future AI systems with a fraction of the energy we use today. We're not just building smarter machines anymore. We're blurring the line between biology and technology in ways that would have been pure science fiction just 20 years ago. If this made you rethink everything about technology and the human brain, you need to subscribe to Future Gen News.